Are we ready to roll? Okay, I think we're starting. Hi, I'm Adam, and you're at Customer Experience 2025. If that's not what you wanted, then you're in the wrong room. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm here to talk about enhancing in-store and online experiences, specifically using VR and AI and all those changes that are coming into play at this moment. So this is me, Adam Singer at Building Growth Partners. That is the company that I run. I help flooring stores and home improvement stores grow revenue by improving customer experience, along with all of the stuff that you see over there. I really would like to start out by getting to know you a little bit. This is my 8-month-old Australian Labradoodle and my 13-year-old son. And he has peanut butter on his nose, which is how I got her to do this and him to do that. But I'd like to get to know you guys a little bit better because I have spent so much time preparing for this presentation and have thought of so many different ways to do this. But I would like to know first, if there's somebody in the room, or anyone in the room that we share, if you have something that you came to the International Services Expo here today, a problem to solve or something you were hoping to achieve or become at this seminar today. Is there anyone who would share some problem or something they're looking to solve or achieve in this seminar? Yeah, please. Modernizing your showroom. Excellent, thank you. And because you were brave enough to speak out, Seth Godin is not me, but he's a fabulous author and marketer, and I'd like to please bring this over to you, if I may. This is a great book, and I have more than one, so anybody else who would like to be brave enough to share? Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else who's brave enough to share about something that they want to talk about, want to learn about, a problem they want to solve in their experience here? Somebody else? I have a late right now. Oh, yes, thank you.
We've kind of been very good at bringing the job site into the showroom. It's like a lot of stock photos, really beautiful photos.
Yep.
The reality of what we've done in the years.
Amazing. Bringing the job site into the showroom. I think we can help with that too. Great. Thank you. Thank you for speaking out too. I'm out of books, but happy to take any more people who want to talk. Any other volunteers? Modernizing the showroom, bringing the job site into the showroom. Great. I think we can talk about that. Let's talk about change. I am amazed myself at how much my own interactions have changed online, specifically with AI. I am one of those outliers who did purchase the crazy expensive Apple Vision Pro, which is expensive for a toy, but for a business tool, it's actually, I think, quite reasonably priced. And we'll talk about that too, if that is what you guys want to talk about. And I think bringing the jobs into the showroom, I think, is something that can be achieved with that. The only thing constant is change, right? We all know that this industry has changed tremendously in the last 20 years. If you want to know somebody firsthand to talk about that, ask someone who used to sell Yellow Pages ads. The only thing constant is change, which means that new tech brings changes. Old tech that was once new in my lifetime, digital photography changed everything. Smartphone cameras, the experience that we all carry around these massive, powerful computers in our pockets today that can share our information on Instagram and on Facebook and on your Google reviews and everything about what you do and how that changes your business. It has changed your business, but also changed everything with smartphones. Google itself, right? We used to use Yellow Pages ads. Used to be important to have a business called AAAAA flooring. Right now that's useless, but Google reviews are very important. Amazon and e-commerce changed everything as well, and social media. Those are changes we've all experienced, I think, in our lifetimes, where the way that we sell, the way consumers find us, have changed dramatically. The same change is going to happen, I expect, with AI and VR. VR, I think, is happening slower. Most people, I think, in the room don't own a VR headset of some sort. They're not experiencing VR. But most people, can you raise your hand if you've used ChatGPT in the last 2 days? Okay. In the last, have used ChatGPT or any other AI software at all? Can you raise your hands, please? Okay, fine. My experience has been that once you kind of go there, you tend to stay there. And I think Google and everyone else knows that. Whether you experience it or not, when you search for something like flooring store. A flooring store is near me. How you experience that is going to change dramatically. Even if you are not using ChatGPT, if you're using Google, Google's Gemini is also going to change that exceptionally. So, with that in mind, I really want to talk about 5 different applications I think you guys will want to know about. And I think that's the way that I'm going to run the presentation so far. There are a lot of other things we could talk about, but these 5 apps I think will change the way that you do what you do. I think you'll be grateful to know them. If there are other questions or stuff that you want to talk about, and apps is like not the direction you want to go in, please raise your hand and let me know if there's something else you want to talk about more specifically. Okay, great, let's go into this. Polycam. Polycam, I think, if I'm looking at one specific application that will change everything, I think Polycam is something that I think you can really dramatically impress and change how your customers think about you just for this particular app. So I'm going to share this with my computer right now. Give me 2 seconds, please. Okay. Let's go back over here. There we go. Okay, so now you're seeing my iPhone, and this is Polycam. It retails for, I think, $150 per year, and what it is room visualizing software. If you're using an iPhone 15 or later, or maybe even a 14 or earlier, and I expect the same thing as most of the Samsung or most advanced smartphones, you have a technology called LiDAR, L-I-D-A-R, which lets you do something like this. So if I press the camera button here, I can do a 3D floor plan just as so. So just by holding this up, I'm going to hold this up over here, I'm going to start recording. And you'll see it's a little bit high up. And it works a lot better in a smaller space, but what it's doing is it will actually measure and create a 3D model of the entire room as we stand here and do this. So you can see that 3D model coming up. Like I said, in a very large, high room like this, it doesn't work as well, but I can show you over here. Sorry, wait for that. It's always great when technology works, right? So this is the area outside the conference room right now, which we did before we came in here. And this was created in about 5 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. So is there anybody who thinks that being able to measure a room in 3D space like this and create a model like that will be impressive to a potential client? Not so much? Impressive? Yeah. So then what you can do with this also, this is my office. It's not so impressive. But I can take this also and I can show the floor plan like this. I can also put furniture in and out and show what a visualization look like. So that is Polycam. Let's talk next about Otter. Otter, is anyone else using Otter or any AI note taker? Anybody who experiences when they talk to a client or even a representative of some sort, and you're trying to remember exactly what you talked about in the conversation, and you try to look back and understand what was talked about? So I'm going to take you into Otter, and Otter has been on for, about 5 minutes now in my conversation. And you can see, oops. Sorry, this is my earlier conversation today. There we go. So what's happening right now, Otter is transcribing my talk to you as it's happening right now live. And that's kind of cool and interesting, and I can refer back to this. But what's even more interesting is I can do an AI conversation with Otter as this conversation is going past. So if I want to say, what was the name of the app we talked about first? Right, the name of the first app was Polycam. The speaker demonstrated how Polycam can create a 3D model of room using LiDAR technology on new smartphones. So you can have the same kind of interactive AI with any client conversation that you have. So if, for example, you talk to Mrs. Jones about the flooring you're going to put into her country home in her lake house 6 months ago, and you can't remember, did she like oak, or was she talking about engineered hardwood, LVT, what were we talking about exactly? You can actually go into Otter and ask the question to Otter, and it'll say, oh, you had a conversation with Mrs. Jones 6 months ago, and she really liked the oak flooring. Otter AI, I think it's about $20, $30 per month. I think that can also give you a radically different customer experience. Next. So you can't really talk about AI without talking about ChatGPT. The limits of what you can do with ChatGPT are unknown at this point. I want to introduce you to something called Moore's Law. Moore's Law is the idea that every computer that you buy today will be half as fast as the computer you could buy in 18 months for the same price. In other words, every 18 months your computer gets twice as fast for the same price, or you can buy a new computer for that price. That has changed technology from start to finish, and it is what's made the technology revolution of the last 20 years possible. Where computers double in speed every 18 months, AI improves in quality every 6 months. Meaning that the experience you have with ChatGPT today will be half as good as the experience you have 6 months from now. So for example, if I can do something like this right now, where I say, okay, ChatGPT, if I say, let's take a photo here, and let's say, how can I make this room fit twice as many people? So you can also do visualization tricks with this as well. Why am I showing ChatGPT, which I'm sure you all know about? What I want you to be aware of is that I expect at this point consumers are not coming to you with what ChatGPT has showed them, but I expect that they will. What I want you to think about in terms of how you improve customer experience is understanding how AI is going to become a part of how you work together with your clients. They will come in expecting you to know ChatGPT, I expect, as well as they do, and be prepared to be able to utilize the information that they've created through ChatGPT to improve their experience. I also want to talk about the online experience that you can expect coming as a result of ChatGPT. If you're involved in spending money for SEO or PPC, meaning that you're investing in coming up higher in Google ranks for flooring in Savannah, Georgia, or you're looking to become more known in Dubuque, Iowa, wherever it might be, all of that will change rapidly. What happens when somebody searches for these things is going to change dramatically, and how they search for these things. So I want you to be prepared for those things as well. Just to give you an example, right now, if I do a search for flooring stores in Las Vegas, what you see over here is what happens on Google, right? I get, on the left side, it shows me Google. I get a bunch of sponsored ads. But on the right, what happens when I search in ChatGPT? I get exactly one response. Meaning that how your customers will experience you for the first time is about to change radically. So let's talk a little bit about how to deal with that. So that is where I talk about HubSpot. So HubSpot offers an AI feature that will allow you to create content at scale very rapidly, including landing pages, including anything you might want. So what I've done is I've created a free HubSpot account over here. You go to HubSpot.com. I clicked on Get Started Free. I went through all the other stuff that you go through. You have to click here and click here and click here to be able to tell about yourself. What I would suggest that you do is do a search for something like flooring stores near me, or whatever you think your customers will search for. Go down and see what it says here. How much does it cost to install 1,000 square feet of flooring? There's an example of something that your customers may be looking for before they come to you. In previous years or previous months, you have to write that content yourself. This is me in real time on HubSpot saying, write a blog about how much it costs to install 1,000 square feet of flooring. Okay. Next, what it's going to do is it's going to analyze this title I've given it and decide which titles I should work with. Understanding the cost to refinish hardwood floors, how much does hardwood flooring cost? These numbers indicate how likely it is that people are searching for this. Understanding the cost to refinish hardwood floors. Okay? Review the outline. And generate blog post. And now I have a photograph that's generated for me along with all this content. So the thing that you need to know is, number one, you can do this, and everyone else in the room can do this as well. So thing to realize, number one, you want to be the next person doing this right now, because everybody else is already. Thing you need to realize, number two, is that Google knows everyone else is doing this as well, and that ChatGPT will eventually replace this. So you want to make sure that you are the one who is creating that experience now before everybody else gets on the bandwagon, which is pretty much going on. You can similarly do the same thing for a landing page and say, okay, I'm just going to keep this simple. Let's say showcase products. Okay. Make a landing page about how great our service of flooring installation is, and how everyone should hire us to install their floors and provide LVP. Okay. Company name. Somebody give me a company name? Forever Floors. Okay, good. I don't have any documents to add, but you can do that as well. Wait for it. So in the meantime, let's look at some other information here. So let's talk about what won't change. We talked about what is going to change, right? What's going to change is how people come to know you, how people come to trust you, how people do business with you. What will not change? People will always do business with people who they know, like, and trust. That is the good news, so to speak. So the customers that you have now, the relationships you have now, people who know you, like you, and trust you, are your brand equity that you should never underestimate. What will change is how AI will change how people get to know you, get to like you, and get to trust you. Let's go back and sit for a second and look and see where HubSpot is. Right, so there's your new landing page or home page for Forever Floors. Transform your home with Forever Floors. Trusted by leading homeowners. Premium explanation. All these. This was done within, I don't know, it was 90 seconds. So the process that you would have hired a web developer for, or hired a company for to write content for you now, can be done in 90 seconds in front of a room of people. And incidentally, to make this live, assuming that I connect to my domain and everything else, if I click publish, this is now a live web page. Okay, let's go back to what's.
What is the cost of that? Is that a monthly subscription or what?
Yeah, so HubSpot starts at free goes up to 25 or 45 bucks a month, and then goes up from there to about 300 to 500 bucks a month, and it goes all the way to a few hundred to $1,000 or more dollars per month. But it's very, very reasonable. And I will say also that HubSpot is one of those companies that's tied very tightly to the AI and the AI cycle, so that the stuff that's free or low cost now winds up becoming more expensive later. So that's something else to think about. Okay, so let's talk about being known, liked, and trusted. So how will AI change the way people get to know you? We talked about that briefly before and said, listen, whereas now people may learn about you for the first time by doing a Google search. How much does it cost to install 1,000 feet of flooring? Where's the best place to buy flooring in Des Moines? What's the best, who can I rely on for installation? And you're used to getting this large list of responses, a list of websites from Google. And that is presumably going to change dramatically. I can tell you for myself, I accidentally stumbled upon the idea, does anyone use, when you type into Chrome, you type your questions directly into Chrome, you know what I mean? Like if you're using your browser, rather than just saying, go to TISE2025.com, you type in, what is the conference in Las Vegas I'm going to in January? Does anyone do that in Chrome right now? Nobody does that? All right, so what I've done is I set up through my Google Chrome that when I type questions in this direction, put this question directly to ChatGPT. I expect that's going to happen more and more, and Google will make that happen more and more. The result is that, again, you're going to wind up with a much fewer pieces of information being given about you to the consumer, and you have to work a lot harder to get known for the first time. ChatGPT at this point, as far as I know, is not offering advertising. It's not clear whether they will in the future. I expect they will not, but I don't know. Google's Gemini, whether you're doing ads on Google or not, is going to have a massive impact on how that works as well, I expect. So recognize that your ability to attract directly through Google is going to change dramatically, I expect. The solution to that, I believe strongly, is in having an audience which you own. The idea being that the people who follow you on social media, it's not that you own them, but you rent them in a certain sense. The people that you own tend to be your email list. People who know you and like you and trust you already and think of you as an authority. To be able to create something with them on a regular basis that they see that you continue to be a thought leader in this is very important. Who has better prices? So if I ask Google who has better prices, it gives me this list. If I ask ChatGPT, it gives me this, who has better prices, it gives me this instead. Okay, let's talk about VR stuff. Questions so far? Yeah, please. Yeah, how do you get your information more consumable by ChatGPT? The first and most honest answer is my expectation is that it is a closed box. In other words, no one really knows yet. The SEO answer, because that was kind of my bread and butter for a long time, is that Google's algorithm favors relevance and authority. So meaning that if you have information that's particularly relevant to someone's question, more relevant than what everybody else's answer is, you're more likely to get picked up for that particular question. That makes sense, right? Now, the next piece is authority. Not just that you show up as having the relevant question to where should I buy flooring in Las Vegas, or what's the best price for flooring, but that other people come to your website for answers to those questions. So the two strategies I would share with you is, number one, make sure that you're answering the questions people have on your website, with your website pages, your blog, and number two, try to become a trusted resource for your consumers and other people so that you know that they're coming there to look for information. Does that answer your question?
So for now, it's the same SEO practices.
Those two things. excuse me, I'm sorry? I expect they will apply. I would expect they apply. At this moment, ChatGPT is taking its information from Google, or not from Google, from the internet at large. So the role right now for those of us who are in the room is to make a point that we are part of that resource that AI and ChatGPT is learning from. So yes, I think that always being the most authoritative and relevant in the internet space will always pay off, whether it's in AI or whether it's in regular search. Good. Other questions? Nobody? Okay. Let's go in. I want to talk about VR, especially in terms of user experience or customer experience. So both in terms of how to get your on-site in the room, and also about how to modernize your showroom experience. So this is the Vision Pro. I am quite fond of it. I think that there are a couple apps you want to know about that will make this experience, that will make this pretty amazing. I do look like a weirdo when I'm wearing it, so please forgive me in advance for that. They've yet to build have they built a yarmulke experience yet? But... Okay. So I'm going